And today I'm joined by Johnny Burke, who is currently in the back in charge of Blueprints. Okay, so and today we're just going to be just talking about his experiences so far of the back in charge blueprint, how he's getting on, how he's progressing, how he wasn't progressing, and then like how he's managed to move forwards with it. So before we get on any further, Johnny, like if you could just like introduce yourselves, who are you, where you're from, what do you do?
Yeah, sure, no problem. I'm Johnny Burke, as Adam said, and I live and work in Croydon, working from home like a lot of people do now. 52, getting on a bit. I think I first met Adam, I don't know when it was, maybe 20 years ago or 15 years ago at Nuffield Health on the Purley Way. And I think I probably did a few of your classes back then, Adam. I mean, going back in my life in childhood and beyond, I played a lot of sports. I was athletic. Um, Always very sort of lean and fit, even into my 20s. Somehow, I think in my 30s and 40s, the weight started to creep up. I mean, I was still kind of training. I did a couple of marathons in 2004, 2006. But the weight still, I mean, I think I was about 96 kilos on those marathons. So I think I should be about 80 to 85 kilos. That's kind of my dream weight. Um, as I say, it just sort of crept up over the years. I went over 95 kilos was like huge. I think I suffered from what a lot of guys, I mean, maybe young guys who grow up and they want to build and get big and bulky and that kind of thing. I do have a vague memory of being 18. I was like 11 stone 12, and I used to feel I was a bit too lean, bit too scrawny. May have had a few comments from people saying I was a bit lanky, whatever. So I just had it in my head. I was a bit insecure, I guess, that I wanted to bulk up, put weight on, and well, I kind of did, but it wasn't.
That's it, right? That's the thing, like this is the thing we find with a lot of guys is that they go through stages, in like your 20s or in your late teens, your 20s, early 30s. It's all
Yeah,
about being big, putting on as much muscle as possible.
it's
But
right.
then, but then, what happens then is as we then get older, it's then like, well, we're still getting bigger, but for the wrong reasons. This time we're putting on fat instead of the lean muscle, and that's just like where you found yourself, a few months ago, wasn't it? Like when we first had a conversation, wasn't it?
Well, completely right. I mean, just to finish on that last point, I mean, I just remember, you remember that guy in Friends, Matt, whatever his name, the one who just died, uh, hey, how are you doing? And I just remember when I was, I don't know what age, 30 odd, and about him, and he just looked shredded and amazing. And he was like 95 kilos, which is 15 stone. And I kind of had it in my head, oh, I want to be like that. I want to be like that. And sure enough, I did become like that. But as I say, it wasn't muscle, it was a bit of belly fat and
That's it.
mood
Yeah,
phone in as well. So, and then, as I say, it just crept up and up. And suddenly I was at that Nuffield Health and I was like hitting 100 kilos. I think my peak was 104, which is just, but then as Adam, you're saying, you're right. I mean, young guys have this idea of wanting to bulk up, get,
yeah, that's it.
sorry,
So
I got 15.5 stone. There was a little part of me that thought, hey, I'm a big guy now. Yeah,
that's it.
that guy. So, sorry, your question was, yeah. So when I started the program with,
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, yeah. So where were you? Like when we first spoke, like a couple of months ago. Where, like, what was your weight?
so my weight was just under 102 kilos, which I think is
102.
in stone, but which is pretty darn high.
That's
Yeah.
it, right? 102 kilos. And how are you feeling? Like, how was that weight affecting like your day to day? Like how is it affecting, your health, your fitness, like your sleep, your work? How is it affecting those issues?
Well, I mean, all negative basically. I've been carrying that weight, I think, for 10, 15, maybe even 20 years, certainly 15 years. It does affect your sleep. Um, Also, everything that I was eating, my whole diet, nutrition was all out. I was eating a load of rubbish and obviously eating far too many calories. So yeah, I mean, it was all a negative spin-off from just having this extra weight. It doesn't do you any good. It's not good for our health and self-esteem and all the rest of it. And that, of course, feeds into every other aspect of our lives. So
That's it.
that's where I was when Adam reached out to me on LinkedIn. So,
That's it. Cool. So look, you jumped in, okay, and you put the trust in it, and you were doing the things, you was doing the habits, we was doing the things that we suggest you to do to get you moving. But after the first month, right?
Yeah.
How much weight had you lost after the first month?
Well, nothing really. As I say, I started at about 102 kilos. I had an initial dip to 100 point, and I got a real lift thinking, wow, it's happening now. And then a few days later, it was up to 101.8 again. So I must admit, the first 4-week period, I did get pretty demoralized because, when you do sign up to any program, you want to see results happening. So, yeah, as I say, I mean, after the first month, I was kind of still at the same weight as I was at the beginning of the program. So,
That's it, right? It's quite demoralizing, right?
I mean, I was nearly giving up, really, to be honest with you. But I thought, no, I've got to stick with this. I wasn't believing anything was going to happen, really. But
No. Well, that's the thing, right? And this is like, how many people do we know, or how many times in the past have you experienced it, where you start something like you're excited,
yeah,
you start to do things, you start to put the actions in place, you get up earlier, you start eating healthy, you cut everything out, it's a bit of a chore, which, being honest, it isn't in this, because you still had your wine and all of that. You're doing all of this effort, you're exercising,
yeah,
you're doing all the things that you feel that should be getting you to progress.
yeah,
Nothing happened. You lost a pound, right? I had a look last night. You had lost a pound in the first month because of the dips and the ups and the dips and the ups. And,
yeah,
from the start to the finish, it was a pound, right? Of course,
yeah,
you're going to be feeling demoralized. You're going to be thinking, well, what's the point?
yeah, yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Now, this is what I really admired about you. And I was proud of you as well for doing it.
Yeah,
Was that you didn't hide, you didn't run away, you didn't just like quit.
no,
You're like, ads, what's happening, right?
yeah, yeah,
So, and this is the thing, right? Because you give me information in the app, I can then see it.
yeah.
So
No,
you feed me the data, your weight's not losing. So it's like, right, Johnny, I
yeah,
need you to do this. You're not losing weight because of this.
yeah,
We
yeah,
need to do this.
yeah, yeah.
So how did you feel? Like when we had that conversation, how did you feel once we had that conversation?
Well, I felt motivated because I thought, okay, I haven't been doing exactly the things I need to be doing. I mean, on the calorie intake, I I use my personal choice of exercises to use a watt bike, which is just like a Peloton, a home bike.
Yeah.
I find a really good workout. Um, if anyone knows My Fitness Pal, basically you record all your calories and everything you eat and drink on there. And if you do any exercise, it will add on however much exercise you've done that day. So let's say I did a watt bike session and it was 500 calories, it would add that onto my allowance. And I used to think, oh, wow, brilliant. I can eat even more now. So
That's it. I've earned that. I've earned that chocolate bar. I've earned that glass of wine or two,
that's
right?
exactly
And that's
what
how it is. That's the thought process, isn't it?
that's what I was doing. So obviously your chat with me was the turning point, really, because I realized, nope, it's great you did the exercise, but you got to stick with the target I've given you. So which is what I've now been doing for, it's only the second week of this, I think.
Yeah, I know. I had a little look. So, we had that chat, and
Yeah,
then you're like, okay, it made sense. Like you reached out. You reached out for help. We then
definitely.
we had a chat. I pointed you in the right direction,
Yeah, no, it was a
and then
turn.
you got back on it.
Yeah.
So, like, come on, then. Like, what's it been like since we had that conversation? What's happened?
Ah, I mean, honestly, I'm still pinching myself. I mean, I weighed myself again this morning. I'm weighing, shouldn't really, but anyway.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's just I can't believe it. So basically, I was working out this morning. Since that beginning, I've lost 4.3 kilos, which I think is about 9 pounds. And
Sorry, stop there. How much have you lost since our conversation?
it is, since the conversation, because it was about 101.8. So what is that? 101.8 minus 9. Oh, this morning I was 97.4. So
97.4.
this morning. So what?
Cool. I'm just getting your bits up now.
4.4 kilos. I can't just. Sorry, my brain.
So you were 97.4 this morning. Okay. Right. So when we had that conversation of you reaching out, okay, right, look, when you first started, you was 101.8 kilos. Okay, just under 1.2.
Yeah.
102. Then after a month, you were 101.3. So you'd lost a pound, right?
Yeah.
You lost half a kilo.
Yeah.
This morning you were 97.4.
4. Yeah.
So since our conversation 10 days ago, 11 days ago, you've lost 4 kilos.
Yeah, no, it's insane. It's just, as I say, I'm pinching myself really. I've been a bit, I like to keep some records, and I've got Excel spreadsheets where I've kept a record of certain behaviors over many years. Like, I mean, I like a drink, so beer or wine. So I've recorded which days I've drunk on, or I sometimes smoke as
That's cool.
well. But actually, I had a look this morning because I was having a little chat with Adam today, and I've not been the weight I am this morning for 8 years. This is the lowest I've been in 8 years, so I'm chuffed. I'm so motivated now to smash this.
Right, look at that, right? First 4 weeks, you're
Yeah.
struggling, and you would think, like you said, you're thinking of quitting.
Yeah, definitely.
We had a conversation, we just turned the boat, you started doing the work,
Yeah.
and now you're the weight you were you haven't been this way for 8 years. And that's
8 years.
after 10 days of just having a conversation.
Oh no, it's mad. It's
Right.
mad. It proves in the end, sometimes in life you need someone like Adam to come in and give you that advice and direct you
Well,
really.
that's it, right? It's just accountability, isn't it? It's just accountability.
Yeah, and I'm chuffed. I mean, I'm a bit impatient. I'm trying to work on my impatience, but basically I want to get to 90 and below, but it's going to
Oh,
take.
you will. Oh no, yeah, you'll be there. Don't you worry. You're gonna get there anytime, Johnny, right? You're gonna get there. So it's just about progress, right? But again, you're the lightest you've been for 8 years.
Yeah.
Cool. That's a win. Massive win.
Yeah, I know.
So just keep chipping it. Like you know what to do. Like we're getting the things in place now. So
Yeah.
it's now we just need to start to progress you.
Yeah.
Cool. So like now, right, let's look at this. So, you said how you were feeling before we started. Well, how are you feeling this morning? What's the, like, yes, the weight's important, but what does that mean? Like, how else is it affecting things? Like, let me know.
Well, sorry, 1 second, Adam. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just on the phone, Jeff. Apologies, that was my brother.
That's all right.
I'm just, it's, I feel different. I've started to believe really this is happening, it is happening and I believe it and I just want to take it the full distance. It's lifted my mood, my motivation's up. What can I say? I mean, yeah, it's just back to the question about carrying all that surplus weight. It's no good, and it's losing weight is one thing, one way of measuring things, but it's also an emotional journey. It's psychological. You start to look back in your life and you realize what happened. That film, that comedian. What happened?
Yeah.
What happened? I don't know what happened. It just um, I just, in the end, as I say, I'm very happy that connected with Adam because it's happening. What happened is that I'm losing weight, and yeah, like I say, I look back in my life. I was 12 stone when I was 18, and then it just stepped up and up. I trained, I did marathons, but you know what? Problem is when you do let's say you're a runner and you go out for a 10-mile run or whatever, and that's great. And then you get home and you think, well, I used to think, oh, I can have a massive bowl of pasta now. I can eat what I like. I've just bloody well conquered Everest. No, I haven't. Whatever
That's
you
it.
do, you still have to watch the calories. And I was never doing that.
No.
That,
That's it. You know, that's one tiny part of it, but you know, that's something that's clicked for you now, and you've understood it. You know, you've been educated on it, and you know, we're moving you forward. So that's really, really good.
Definitely.
And that's the thing as well. Is like it's not just about the exercise and the food in this program, is it? Like you said, you're looking back at things, and you know, we're working on the mental side of it, of the whole journey, like the more holistic side of it.
Yeah.
And you're embracing all of that, which is really good as well.
Yeah, it's vital, isn't it? I mean, mindset and all the rest of it, and just looking at why you might reach out to have a tub of ice cream or all these different things, and also becoming much more mindful of what you're eating. And I've learned a lot about what calories are in what foods. I wouldn't have had a clue before, you know. I mean, now I actually know, and obviously trying to hit my protein targets. So I'm rediscovering a joy of eating. Well, mainly I've moved to chicken now.
That's it.
But yeah, no, it's just, I wish it had happened 20 years ago, but that's another story. But you know, we can only start today, can't we?
Exactly right. Things happen at the right time, right? So just remember that. Just remember that.
There's definitely, I've got a strong feeling with this. It was meant to be, and it is the right time for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be on my next birthday. I'll be 53 in March, and I'm hoping to be 80 to 85 kilos. So there we are.
Nice. Cool. So Johnny, like if anyone's watching this and they're intrigued, you know, in the past they've had the similar sort of experience of you, you know, starting something
Yeah.
and not really seeing the results. And then they decide to quit. Like, what would you say to people that have experienced that?
Well, I completely empathize with you. I mean, I've been there for the last 20, 30 years. I mean, I think we've all started out with good intentions on all sorts of projects, whether it's to do with fitness and weight loss, or whether it's studying something, or all manner of different things that we start out with the good intention. We're highly motivated, but you know, motivation comes and goes, doesn't it? And
Exactly.
which is why all the other stuff that you do, Adam, is very useful to sort of override that and to keep you going. Because there are days, and I have them, where you just think, I can't be asked with this. I'm not feeling it. I don't want to go out, and I don't want to do my piece of exercise. I don't want to walk, whatever it might be. And you've got to find ways and methods to override it. But I'd just say to anyone, yeah, just give it a go. I mean, there's lots of different options for you, but I would heartily recommend Adam. I think he does a great job. It's a great program, and he's very good at motivating and educating you. Yeah, very
Nice.
good. Yeah.
Cool. Well, Johnny, thank you for taking the time out of your day today to jump on, okay, and just share your experience, because, you know, it's a very, you know, like I said, it's very relatable to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not, again, because, you know, I share a lot of the successes of people,
Yeah.
you know, that get a big success. But then also it's like, I want to share also the people that struggle.
Yeah.
But then also how we can turn that around. How you've turned that around.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'm just chuffed to bits. I really, recommend to anybody, just sign up and go for it, because you will lose the weight. It will just lift you up so much. I know there's a lot of people I mean, you know better than I do, Adam, but I've got friends who are very overweight and all the rest of it, and desperate to lose weight and all the rest of it. But you just got to, I think in the end, we do need a program. And in the end, it boils down to being consistent and disciplined, really.
That's it. And don't be ashamed to reach out if you're struggling.
Definitely not.
And
No.
that's the key. That is the key, right? If you're struggling, cool, reach out. You know, it's fine. It just means that you haven't understood something. That's all it means, right? And then we can just point you in the right way, set you off, and you can carry on going. So Johnny, you're doing really well. You know, I'm looking forward to see where you're going to be at Christmas.
Oh, I can't wait.
Right? It's gonna be amazing, right? It's gonna be good.
Shredded. I'll be on the front cover of Muscle.
Cool. So guys, reach out. If you've got any questions about Back in Charge Blueprint, please send me a message. If you've got any questions that you'd like to ask Johnny as well, please just put it in the comments and we can then answer them at a later date. But thank you for taking the time out today and have a good one.
Go for it, guys. Don't hesitate.